You guys excited to get your Chromebooks tonight? Yeah, there's one. That's great. We're excited too. My name is David Trikel. I'm the director of, well, there's my title, Director of Curriculum Instruction Assessment and the Alternative Learning Programs for North Branch Area Public Schools. I'm here to talk to you, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the reason why we're doing this. And a little bit about the work of all the way up until today of the work that we've been doing. Our mission is up on top. Our mission for our Bridging D3 program is ensuring all learners develop the necessary life skills in preparation for college and career. With the digital device, it's an additional tool that helps us get to reach that mission. Okay? In your classrooms, you're still going to be using, your pen or your pencil and some paper, but you're going to have this additional tool in your classrooms to reach these 5 goals. So this last summer, we spent 4 days with your teachers in grades 6, 7, and 10. And we worked on preparing them to deliver on those 5 goals. We want to ensure that they are creating engaging and relevant learning experiences and developing those life skills. We want to ensure that those learning experiences using the digital tools encourage cooperation, collaboration, and innovation. You can see out there that I've highlighted a couple of those words in a bigger font. Collaboration, those communications, and creation. In a 21st century, it looks a little bit different with a digital tool than what it once did. When I was back in school, my collaboration was getting around with a group of 3 people and collaborating face-to-face. Today, this digital world could be exposed to collaborating with other students across the world. How are we preparing our students to live in that digital age? How are we preparing them to work as team members in that digital world? So collaboration and cooperation in the digital world looks a little bit different than it once did. We also want to ensure that we're maximizing all of our resources to create, research, and communicate and produce academically sound products. We want to be able to, the teachers are prepared to use these tools to be able for you guys to create using this digital technology. So there's plethora of ways that we can use these to represent what we've learned besides an assessment, which is ABCD. There's another, we can use this digital tool as another means of producing, hey, I do know this, and this is how I'm going to show you that I know it. The last 2 I can clump together, but you can read up there. But we want to ensure that our students are prepared to live in this digital world. We want to ensure that we're developing digital citizens. And we want to be able for the teachers to feel comfortable enough to have these conversations with students. When is it appropriate? When is it not appropriate? When are lids up? When are lids closed? When do we have the device out? When do we put it away? All those things that we've learned, in terms of digital citizenship, and I'm sure as parents you can agree to this too, if you sit in an office and someone takes out something where they shouldn't at an inappropriate time, we want to be able to instill those skills with our students at an early age. We're going to be measuring our success on our Bridging D3 program based upon these 5 goals. So like I said earlier, we have spent a lot of time preparing the staff, 4 full days of professional development. So you will be able to see the tools, those digital tools that they're going to be using in the classrooms. The teachers are also going to receive 4 additional half days to come together to collaborate as teams. And they also have another opportunity to personalize their learning. So if they want to go deeper into one area, I'll give an example. Oh, it would be really nice to teach American history 7th grade, and I really want our 7th grade social studies students to create a Google site, or 6th grade students with Minnesota history to create a Google site, a website for us to show us what they've learned. Okay? So there's a lot of different ways that we can prepare our staff and personalize that learning for the staff so that they can bring in those experiences for our students. The rest of the evening is going to, or part of the rest of the evening is going to be devoted to Darren Markuson. Darren Markuson is our Director of Technology. He will be going through the kind of logistics of tonight, what happens when you leave here, what to expect when you go down to the gymnasium to pick up your Chromebooks. And he's also going to talk to the students a little bit about expectations and about what's appropriate use, how to handle the devices, and what to expect, both as parents and as students.
Thank you, Mr. Frankel. I need to volunteer. Front row, you want to come up here? Come on up. Don't be afraid. This is the device that we're going to be handing out tonight. And sorry, a little feedback there. And I would like you to hang on to that with both hands. Go over and grab the side there. Nice and easy like that. Now that's the proper way to hang on to that. Okay? We don't want to hang on to the students. We don't want to ever hang on to the screen here. We have both hands on the device. We're ready to go from classroom to classroom or from spot to spot. We can close it. We want 2 hands and make sure that that device is protected really well. Okay? We're going to be going through some of those expectations here with you tonight. And I'm going to have my assistant here help me with showing the proper way to do things while we're going through it. So again, I welcome everybody. My name is Darren Marcus, and I'm the Director of Technology for the school district. And we're going to be talking about the student expectations first. And when we talked here and how she's carrying it right there, she's carrying it carefully. 2 hands, not by the screen. If you can close it, feel free to close it. As soon as you open that thing, about 2 seconds, it's going to boot right back up again and pretty much take off where you ended when you closed it. So you don't have to re-log in again, all of those pieces. You're going to be getting this bag. This is your Chromebook sleeve. We expect you students to have this with you at all times. When you're getting ready to leave a class, when you're walking to school, when you're leaving school, we expect you to have this bag with you and have your device in it whenever you're going from classroom to classroom, home to school, school to home, okay? Fits in there nicely. You have a pocket here that has a power cord in it. We don't want to see the power cord again after you bring it home tonight. Why? You will have this device charged up every day before you get to school. It has about a 9-hour battery life, the Chromebook does, and so you should not have to have it recharged during the course of the day until you get home again. Okay? A couple other things with the Chromebook. We never want to press down on the display on the top. Okay, it might have a chance to break that top, okay? And then don't put anything in between it either. Don't set your pencil on the keyboard and close it. We don't want that screen broken. You know about the food and the drink. I'm sure you talked about that in your computer labs and as we're handing out devices. And at home as well, when you're in your study session on the kitchen table, on the kitchen counter, someplace where your parents can see you and you're doing your homework on the devices. And then be careful if you do transport in your backpack or in your locker. It should fit the backpacks just fine. Okay, but we want to make sure I know sometimes they really pack those backpacks tight. Just make sure you're careful when you put it in. And then it should fit in your locker. It's got to go a little bit sideways, but it still should fit in there, okay? So just make sure when you're closing or make sure you don't set anything on top of it. In the classrooms, again, you will have the device ready to go and charged at the start of school. When you walk into the classroom, traditionally, what do you have? Textbook, paper, pencil, right? Now you will have your Chromebook all charged up in the sleeve, ready to go. The teacher is in charge. When the teacher tells you to put the device away, slide the device away, put it in there, stick it under the table, under your desk, or slide it out of the way when you're not using it. Okay? Make sure it's not hanging over the edge when you're using it as well. Carry it carefully inside your sleeve. Keep locked in your locker when you're not using it. So I know some of you have some, when it comes down to basketball season or even football season, when you're not using it, make sure it's locked up. Okay? Expectations at home. Have a plug-in place, please, parents. Have a place where you know that device. If you tell them at 8 o'clock every single night, this device will be plugged in, look at that spot where it's supposed to be plugged in, and those are your expectations. Your room should not be your plug-in place. Because we all know what happens when the devices get in the room. Okay? It probably gets opened up again, it probably gets used again. Alright? My kids have their stuff all on the counter at home, all plugged in, ready to go for the next day. Cell phones included. Parents, you are in charge. We expect you to parent with these as well. Sit down with them, watch what they're doing, look over their shoulder, making sure that they're doing their homework. When it's that time that the viewing time is done, make sure they're closing them, or if they have to continue to do their homework, make sure you're monitoring that. But students, when the parent says it's time to put it away, it's time to put it away. Okay? You can try to negotiate if you have homework to do, though. Okay? Establish rules at home. Rewards. Punishment's kind of a tough one. I suppose you could say, well, your punishment is you only do homework on it. I give my kids a couple minutes of free time on theirs, maybe 30 minutes after they get done with their homework, but then again, it's shut off at a certain time. The acceptable use policy, you will abide by that whether you're at school or whether you're at home. These devices have a filter on them, so they are filtered 24/7, which means that we try to keep the bad sites off the device. It's not 100%, but it's pretty close. Your child will have to work awfully hard to get by the filter. So if they're at home on the wireless, if they're at the public library, when they're at school, their devices will be filtered based on our Children's Internet Protection Act. And of course, parents be involved. We want you to learn with your child through this whole process. As the teachers are learning, the administration is learning, the district is learning about using these devices as a tool in the classroom.